Hello guys, welcome back to Studyphilia Education. This is our lecture 2 and today we are going to learn about the prehistoric period in India and the Paleolithic period in India. So I combined unit 2 and unit 3 here and I have skipped the Mesolithic part in the unit 2 because I am going to cover the entire Mesolithic part in the next lecture. So this lecture we have devoted just to the Paleolithic period in India and to the prehistoric period in India. In this lecture, we'll learn about the birth of prehistory in India, how Paleolithic cultures are defined, the kind of archaeological evidence that is available to reconstruct tool typology and technology, the sites and their regional settings, and the salient features of the Indian Paleolithic. Now before jumping into the unit, let us get familiar with the nomenclature. What is history, what is prehistory, what is proto-history, and there is a new way of or just another way of dividing the human past or the history, that is to divide it into Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age. So how did historians came up with these divisions? We'll learn about that. Then the Stone Age is further divided into Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. What does these words even mean? So let us get familiar with the nomenclature first. What is prehistory? Scholars define prehistory as events that occurred before the existence of written records in a given culture or society. So then what is history? History refers to the time period after the inventions of written records in a given culture or society. So then if we have prehistory and we have history, then where does proto-history comes from? So proto-history is the period between prehistory and history. So proto-history is a period when a culture is written about but by others. The culture itself has not developed its own writing system, but the culture, we get to know about the culture from the writings of other cultures. So for example, an example of proto-history is that Harappan civilization. We cannot say that Harappan civilization was from the prehistoric period because Harappan civilization has its own script, but we cannot decipher it. We get to know about the Harappan civilization from the Mesopotamian writings. Therefore, Harappan civilization is considered a part of the proto-history period. Now let us study the 3H system and its evolution. So Hesiod, who was a famous ancient Greek poet, he wrote a poem called Works and Days. And in his poem, he defined 5 successive ages of man, which were Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Heroic Age, and Iron Age. But this poem was written somewhere between 750 to 650 BC. Then, in the 19th century, C.J. Thomson, he was the director at the Royal Museum of Nordic Antiquities. So he wanted to classify the museum collection chronologically. He had a lot of collection, lot of material, and he wanted to classify those materials because he was the director there and he wanted to classify chronologically. So resulted a broad sequence in which he classified artifacts successively into stone, bronze and iron. Then after reviving the 3H system from Hesiod to C.J. Thomson, John Lubbock came, and John Lubbock improved upon this system and took it to another level. In his book in 1865, Prehistoric Times, in his book, he divided the Stone Age in Europe and in Africa and Asia into 2 parts, Paleolithic and Neolithic. That is how this 3H system evolved over centuries, and now we have this division of history and of human past into 3 types: Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age. But this doesn't mean we have to be very careful with these words. When we say Stone Age, it does not just imply that tools were made out of stone during this age. We divide history into Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age on the basis of the subsistence economy or the ways of acquiring food, the social organization, how humans took care of the weak, old, sick, and how they disposed of the dead, the arts, and other aspects of life. On these various characteristics, we divide history into Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. So, the Indian Stone Age, since we are studying history of India, the Indian Stone Age is further divided into Paleolithic period, Mesolithic period, and the Neolithic period. And there are different phases within the Indian Paleolithic period. So there is Lower Paleolithic period, the Middle Paleolithic period, and the Upper Paleolithic period. So the Lower Paleolithic period approximately starts from 600,000 BP. The Lower Paleolithic traditions involved the use of large pebbles or flakes for making choppers and chopping tools, hand axes, cleavers, knives, etc. So before studying these different type of tools, let us get familiar with them, what they are, what does a chopper mean, what does a flake mean, what does a core mean. So stone tools are the main evidence through which we understand the life of prehistoric people, because we don't have writings. Archaeologists use certain terms to define stone tools. If a large piece of rock is intentionally broken into two or more pieces, then the largest piece is called the core, and the tool made out of it is called a core tool. Then the smaller pieces, when you break a rock, so that the biggest piece is known as the core piece, and other smaller pieces which are detached from this parent rock are called flakes, and the tools made from these smaller pieces are called flake tools. What is a hand axe? A hand axe is generally a core tool, so it is made out of the biggest part of the rock. It is bifacial, so it is worked on both the sides. It is roughly triangular in shape. Then a cleaver. A cleaver is a flattish tool made on a broad rectangular and triangular flake. Then comes a chopper. So chopper is large and it is worked on one side only. See, when we look at hand axe is worked on both the side. It is bifacial. But a chopper is unifacial tool. It is worked on only one side. Here we can see that the phases within the Indian Paleolithic, the Lower Paleolithic period is further divided into two parts because it has two traditions. The first is the Soanian tradition, which is formed in the East and Southeast Asian part. It is also known as the chopper or chopping tool tradition. And the other is the hand axe cleaver tradition, also known as the Acheulean tradition, which is widely known from the western half of the old world. So, the Soanian cultural tradition. The existence of this tradition was first recognized in 1939 by H.D. Terra of the Yale University and T.T. Patterson of Cambridge University. They studied the area and they came up with the series of 5 terraces on the river Sone. What they realized that when they were studying these areas, that the terraces on the river Sone is a part of the Indus drainage system. So these terraces were correlated with the glacial and interglacial period in the Kashmir Valley. So a glacial period is when glaciers are formed, and an interglacial period is the period between the formation of two glaciers. So there is a very cold period where glaciers are formed. Then comes an interglacial period which is relatively warm, so the ice melts, and then comes another glacial period which is again very cold and it leads to formation of glaciers. The tools that he found in these areas were of pebbles with working edges on their sides or their ends. They looked like these choppers. You see figure 1.2, those pebbles, they are worked either on one side or they are worked on both the sides. So they look like these. So, from the Indian side of the border, pebble tool assemblages were found in the Sirsa and Ghaggar valleys of Haryana, Beas and Banganga valleys of Himachal Pradesh, and Hoshiarpur, Chandigarh sector of the Shivalik frontal range. Then comes the Acheulean tradition. The Acheulean, this term is used for hand axes and cleavers found as tool assemblages and representing advanced and increasingly symmetrical shapes. Quartzite was the preferred rock for tool making. But we see that Acheulean groups made use of other available rocks too. Like they didn't only stick to quartzite, but dolerite and basalt were used in Maharashtra, whereas fossil wood was used in Bihar and Bengal to make such type of tools. Some important lower Paleolithic sites are the Singhi Talab in western Rajasthan, Paisra in Munger district, Bihar, Chirki Nevasa in Maharashtra, Morgaon, a site from Deccan basalt landscape in the Bhima drainage basin, has yielded an assemblage of 162 specimens, including cleaver and hand axes. Figure 1.1 shows a cleaver and figure 1.2 shows a chopper. Now let us come to the Middle Paleolithic period. The Middle Paleolithic culture consists of variety of tools made on flakes, and these flakes are produced by specialized techniques. Therefore, it is widely referred to as flake tool industry. Now let us learn about the Middle Paleolithic period in India. So the Middle Paleolithic culture phase in India is characterized by the flake tool industries. In 1956, H.D. Sankalia for the first time recorded and demonstrated these flake tools occurring in the Pravara at Nevasa. So Pravara is a region at Nevasa in Maharashtra, and then later he also recorded these tools in the Godavari Valley in North Karnataka. So he called this industry, Mr. Sankalia called this industry Nevasian industry. But this was in 1956. So when subsequent surveys took place, they revealed that Nevasian industry just was not a local phenomena. So these flake tools were not restricted to this Nevasa region in Maharashtra only. They were found in different regions of the country, and therefore we don't use the word Nevasian industry anymore. We use the term Middle Paleolithic. Some important Middle Paleolithic sites are the Didwana region in Rajasthan, Hiran Valley in Gujarat, Potwar Plateau between the Indus and the Jhelum River, Chirki Nevasa in Maharashtra, and the Kalpi in Uttar Pradesh, etc. etc. Now let's look at this map which shows different Paleolithic sites in India belonging to the lower, middle, upper Paleolithic period. We can see the Nevasa region in Maharashtra. There is lower Paleolithic site called Umrethi in Gujarat. We can see the Didwana region in Rajasthan. Now let us come to the upper Paleolithic period. The Upper Paleolithic period is the third and the last subdivision of the Paleolithic period, and it is characterized by the first great climax of human achievement. The Upper Paleolithic period falls between 40,000 and 10,000 years ago. The human species associated with this cultural phase is the anatomically modern human sapiens, human beings, which are known as anatomically modern Homo sapiens, AMHS. The Upper Paleolithic is marked by technological advances in stone tool manufacture, by production of parallel-sided blades which are finished into variety of tools by blunting one side or by backing it. We can find the Upper Paleolithic cultural relics in different regions of India. Since most of these are open air occupations, tools made of organic materials such as bone are not known because organic material tends to decompose. However, bone tools were recovered from the Kurnool caves in Andhra Pradesh, in which conditions for preservation of organic remains favorable. Some of the important Paleolithic sites are found in the Rohiri Hills in Upper Sindh region, the Chopani Mando in the Bilan Valley, Lalmai Hills of Bangladesh, Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, etc. Now let's study the bone tool industries. The excavation by Robert Bruce Foote and his son Henry Bruce Foote in the Bila Sargam caves in the 1880s yielded bone tools in association with the late Pleistocene fauna. The tools comprised awls, barbed and unbarbed arrowheads, daggers, knives, scrapers, chisels, axe heads, sockets, etc. Recent excavation conducted in the 1970s confirmed their finding. So, we are done with the lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic sites. Let us revise a bit. The Indian Paleolithic is divided into three phases, which shows development in technology and tool types. So there are lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic and upper Paleolithic. The lower Paleolithic cultural traditions is characterized by hand axe and pebble chopper tool traditions. Limestone, dolerite, quartzite were the preferred rock material for fashioning tools beside river pebbles. Stone hammers, soft hammers are prepared. Core techniques were employed for detaching flakes and shaping them into implements. The Middle Paleolithic culture consists of variety of tools made on flakes which are produced by specialized techniques. Mousterian and Levallois techniques are the most common. The Upper Paleolithic culture is based on blade tool technology. Besides blade tools, we find bone tools which were found in the Kurnool caves in Andhra Pradesh. Now let us study the hunting gathering societies, Paleolithic lifeways and their settlement patterns.